Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Bleach discussion video. This one's going to be a little bit more relaxed than the other ones. I'm going to kind of take my time and just kind of talk to you guys, really. Tell me in the comment section below whether you agree with me or not. Okay, this upcoming Friday, we get the premiere on Netflix of the Bleach movie they made in Japan. And I remember talking about this a couple years ago, especially as the Bleach manga was ending. And as I was talking about at the time when I was covering Bleach and trying to get into it, I came into the series at a really weird time. When all of my friends from high school, especially the ones that I talk to now, a vast majority of them really liked Bleach. They really like Naruto, they really like One Piece, some of them, but they really love the big three. And I always have been a Dragon Ball fan. Dragon Ball is just my bread and butter. You guys understand that from my channel and what I cover. And I feel very fortunate, especially on my YouTube platform, to be a Dragon Ball fan because, like it or not, series or not, Dragon Ball is just so big of an entity that you can discuss it, you can talk about it, you can cover it in any real way, shape, or form without having to have any weekly manga or weekly anime or anything like that. There's very few properties, I think, that are out there that have that type of brand awareness and dedication from its fan base that it just seeps through everything in society, and you can talk about so many facets of it that people will be interested in, and we all have our own way of thinking about things and wanting to talk to each other about various things and everything. And I feel like the first big disappointment that I had on this platform was the fact that I got into Bleach very late, and by the time that I had gotten into it and was really getting into it, the manga was ending. Of course, before I even came in, the anime had already ended. The manga is ending, the anime had already ended, and I was kind of left high and dry. It's not that I couldn't really talk about it, but I'm not really versed in everything Bleach. I don't understand the vast intricacies of the world the same way that I do for stuff like the Saw franchise or Dragon Ball or anything else like that. So there wasn't anything new to discuss or to experience that people hadn't already talked about, or people they weren't interested in any real way. And besides Brave Souls and stuff, which I'm not too much of a gamer, I've already said this on my channel from time to time, as much as I do like that game in general, I think it's more fun to play than Dokkan, but I still can't get into it. Maybe I'll pick it up sometime, but those free-to-play games, it's hard to progress. It takes a lot of time, especially when you're like me and you don't really want to pay anything and you'd rather just be free. So the series itself kind of fell off my radar in a really big way. I still like it. I've read through the manga. I've watched the anime. And just recently, the idea that Netflix had picked up the rights to distribute or at least stream this movie on their platform, and very soon after it was officially released in Japan, but September 14th, this upcoming Friday, they said that, okay, we're going to be able to stream it for audiences, and hopefully, you like it or not, we're going to see where it goes from there. And it just gotten me thinking about Bleach again, because there's been so little out there for the fandom in terms of content or quality or anything to really discuss or get excited about. I mean, there was a hope there for a time that they were going to bring in the anime and we would be able to watch the anime, either redistribution of it, or they would actually animate the last arc, the 1,000-Year Blood War arc from the Bleach manga, and that would have been really cool. But the further we get away from it, the more it looks like it's just not going to happen. And this franchise is kind of dead in the water, at least for now. And it's kind of a shame. Once I started to get back into the swing of things, like, oh, I'm really kind of excited about this movie, I can't wait to cover it on my channel, I started listening to the music again for Bleach, and I thought, oh, wow, I remember really, especially a couple years back, just listening to this music just night and day. Just some of the best soundtrack of any manga or anime really that I had really come across at that time. And I started, was like, okay, maybe I need to rewatch the anime. Maybe that's what I need to do. And I need to actually, once I save enough money, which seems to be these days just impossible. I don't have the income source coming in from anywhere because I'm a student. Hopefully when I'm out of school, it's going to be much better, but I don't have the income source that I used to. So I am sitting there going, okay, I don't really know when I'm going to have a chance to buy all of Bleach on Blu-ray. I could finish buying all of the Bleach that I bought on DVD, but it feels like an inferior quality at this point. But they're releasing the Blu-rays really slowly, so I still have to wait. So maybe it's just going to work out in that way. But besides just going back and watching it, despite going back and listening to all the music, despite getting really excited, and maybe even for a time talking about this movie, good or bad, just talking about it, there's not much to talk about with this franchise. And as I said, this was the first major defeat I felt on the YouTube platform, because it's not so much so that the franchise is dead and nobody wants to hear about it. It's just one of the things I was very fortunate to start the YouTube platform that I did and expand it as far as I have, is I was talking about Dragon Ball. I was talking about something that is just permanent in time and is always kind of up to date with a huge section of fans that either grows or retracts just a smidge based on what's actually coming out any given time. So when there's an anime or movie out, the fandom is huge because people are very nostalgic about Dragon Ball. But if there's something like like nothing coming out, no games, nothing, but there's still Dokkan, there's still all this other stuff and excitement building for the next thing that everyone knows is going to happen. So it wanes, but it comes back pretty quickly and pretty strong at that. Bleach is just not the same thing. And when I started covering the series, I realized pretty quickly that it wasn't going to be the same thing. And when the manga actually did end, those people who I was talking about it with and those people who wanted to hear me and talk to me about it really dropped off the radar. And that's kind of sad. I really think that's the saddest thing, is when your fandom leaves, when the people that make it worth talking about, people make it worth listening to, and all this other stuff start to kind of fall off, and the interest wanes for a lot of people, then your excitement wanes. It's so interesting how we all, at least in my opinion, how we all really feed off of each other's excitement for various things. And I don't know. I did a video about this maybe a year ago or something, asking if anybody really missed Bleach or not. I did at the time, but not as much as I do now. And I think it's because of this movie coming out. And I actually really want to see it. And I can't wait to actually watch it and get a chance to get on here and review it, just talk about it. Hopefully I can get someone on who wants to talk about it with me. And we'll see how it goes. And hopefully, in the near future, I'm going to sit down and watch some Bleach, just rewatch the entire thing, try to figure out, rediscover that series for myself, because it is a special show. I think it is one of the best of the big three back in the day. I like One Piece for the most part, but it's daunting to sit there and think of 800 plus episodes having to watch. And then, as I've said on live streams and various places across social media, even though a lot of people do like the Naruto franchise, I think out of the big three, it is the weakest in terms of quality and pacing and even story. I identify much more with Luffy or Ichigo than I do with Naruto. Naruto is the Goku outcast type of person who will always fight, but he's super selfish, and he doesn't really stick up for anyone. He thinks about all this other stuff, and the episodes are very, very poorly paced, so I didn't really like it or get into it, but I will still try. I mean, I'm still trying my best to get into it, but when you have to watch 50 plus episodes to get into a series, it just doesn't really fly with me. Bleach was completely different, where I was kind of in it and wanting to see what happened next within the first 2 or 3 episodes. I wanted to know what was going to happen and how we were going to progress with the story. And probably a lot of that was because it does feel, especially at the very beginning, very close to Yu Yu Hakusho, which me and a lot of other people would tell you is the GOAT of all shonen animes. It is a great series, but with that being said, I'm really excited to see what they do with Bleach. I'm really excited to see what this movie has to offer, and I hope that there's some semblance, even just a section of this fan base who, even though it wouldn't be regular, would like to talk about this show with me. I don't know what else can be said about it that hasn't already been said or analyzed or anything to death, especially when we're not getting anything new. But it's still going to be really interesting and fun to, see that and see if anyone in the comment section below wants to discuss this, because I do. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry for the rambling video. This was not really planned. No real reason or anything why I was actually doing this. The idea was just to kind of put it out there where, fandom is so fleeting in terms of excitement and things, and hopefully it's not as dead as I think. But I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. It's been real.